have a Hyundai i30 GD SR model, so it's got the panorama roof. Problem is, when you close the sunshade for the panorama roof, only the driver's, or the front section closes. There is a problem with the rear. It broke both the clips and shot back at 100 miles an hour, making a huge loud bang noise. If I open it again, you see the little shoe there, that's broken and doesn't retract. You can slide it, and when you close the sunshade, you see it does get picked up. But it doesn't move backwards. So we've got to pull the headlining out, drop it down, and fix up or replace that shoe and the other shoe over this side. To get the headlining to drop down, we're going to need to remove the grab handles, we're going to need to move the trim piece there, we're going to need to remove the black piece of trim there. We'll have the boot open, we'll unclip those, drop it down, and that's the easy part. So we'll flip these tabs open just with your finger, and we'll get those with a Phillips head screwdriver. This one is labelled airbag, and it looks like people have had a crack at opening this before. Put a little screwdriver in there, pop that open, and you can see we've got a 10mm bolt there. So 10mm Phillips head and a trim removal tool just to pop those little buttons out. And this piece here, we will pull the weather stripping away and see what's holding that. And just for completeness, we've got the handrails removed on this side, we've got this side pulled away. The thing that's going to be gripping is these little holes up here and the little Christmas tree plugs up there. So once you've unplugged those, we've also got these clips that pop in behind the weather strip. On this side, I got forceful, and you can see I've started to rip away the plastic. So that's great, and I'm going to go and get a trim removal tool. Get the right tool for the job. That should be able to go in behind there now, and there's I wonder whether someone has glued this piece in. That is... There it comes. There we go. Alright, now that piece is away. And you can see the whole lot. It's two halves, they're joined somewhere down here by the same mechanism. And yeah, that's someone who had a bad day there. Might patch that up. We have these rear pieces of black trim at the back. Popping our trim removal tool down. Lever that off. And similar thing, actually I might just go and pop the boot. But you can see how that just easily clips away. I am just going to put the panel mostly off. Can't work out, it must slot into this piece, so I'm just going to remove this piece by popping open these. 1, 2, and it looks like we've got 10mm sockets in there as well. Alright, you must remove that trim piece so that you can see the 10mm socket attaching the bottom of that. We'll have to do the same to the other side. To get the other bolt that's holding this black piece together, the bolt's under there, which means I need to remove this whole black piece that sits behind the seat belt. And to get that out, I'm going to remove this black piece, which looks like it's already been out once before. There's a Phillips head screwdriver there. There. Let's see what we find. And I should point out that I have got the passenger seat folded forward. If you don't know how to do that, there's a little drop string at the front of the seat that you pull, and the seat tumbles forward. This cover piece came off, 2 screws, and then just a bunch of clips that were holding it on. And I'm going to pull this out. I should use my trim tool, you can see. This one clip down there. Apologies about all the cuts, but as you can imagine, it's a bit of a two-handed job at times. We now have this piece unplugged, and we can see the last 10mm socket we need to get to. I could probably use a right-angled driver to get that off. But to get this piece out, there is a little clip on the top. See it from behind. So if we can get this screwdriver in there, we'll do it that way. Actually, I can't see from my room. Easily get to that socket. Bolt. And there we are. One more to go. This side should be a lot faster. Now we know what we're doing. 2 Phillips head screws. Crack that panel off. Bring the seat forward. And remove... Oh, yeah, someone's already been attacking this car. That plug has actually been removed already. And then once that's done, then we start unclipping this with our trim removal tool. Alright, 2 screws have been removed. Yes, it's loud. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to move that out the way, move those screws out the way. Because this now needs to be removed. That's right, I said I was going to use the trim removal tool, especially up the top here. There we go. Hello, my pretty. Alright, all bolts removed. Now we've got nice access to drop that head lining down. Now all the clips are gone, we've got to pull the headlining down. Pulling down from just the back area was not going well, but getting into the sunroof area, we've also got to unpull it from this weather stripping, and then a couple of clips will come off. Now we have access to see what's going on. So we can see the shade. So I shouldn't play with it too much, but I need more access here, and it's caught up on the front handles, so I'm just going to pull them off as well. Let it drop down further. And just while we're here, and I've removed that front handlebar, might as well fix this while I'm at it. So let's just take the grey trim piece away from the other dark grey trim piece. Again, let's see the two halves are held together. There's little clips down the bottom. That, you see that? No. Little clip there. Let's just get off. This is the very poor man's way to plastic world. The plastic is split. I'm going to push it back to where it needs to go. And then I'm just going to run a hot soldering iron across it. And it joins that ABS plastic back together like magic. Let's do it on the other side as well. Stitch it up. Amazing. I'll never know. Alright, back to the blind. We need to remove the bracket holding the entire roller blind. So we're going to remove this T25 Torx head. 1, 2, 3, is that 4, 5, 6, 7? Okay, let's do it. Okay, we have just pulled out the assembly. When you install it, you need to, oops, very hard to do one-handed. Everything's popped out of its clip. When you install it, you need to roll it over so that the cloth face is showing and touching up against the other one. But it's too hard to do, it's too greasy. Alright, anyway, there were 7 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The ones at the back of the unit where this pitch screw into plastic, and the 2 at the leading edge of the assembly, they screw into metal. While we're here, we can easily see the roller unit. This one is very broken. This one is not so broken, but a bit broken. When I bought the car, the guy advised me that the screen had broken once and it was going to be a $6,000 repair by Hyundai, and then he fixed it himself with a cable tie. Well, that didn't last in the Australian sun. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pull these units out so I can get the clips out. How I'm going to do that is I've got to drill the pop rivet off to be able to slide that cable unit out. Drill this pop rivet off, slide that unit out, and I'll be able to get these out of the truck and the new one's in. The problem is when the car's built, you can see the pop rivet, it's put in from the top side. We won't have access to do that. Just looking at the amount of room I've got to work with, I won't be able to get a drill. Yeah, so let's see if we can just pull the ball out. So I have both pop rivets out, and I did that by just getting an old chisel, sharpening it, just knocking the heads off, well the bottoms off really, then using a center punch to knock the head of the rivet through. Now, unfortunately, the cables are tight. There's a little bit of play, but what I'll have to do is snip cable tie there, snip cable tie there, remove motor, to give myself some wiggle room with the cables, so I can pull this stop out, slide that off the end, put the new ones on, and put it back together. I may be able to do this without removing the motors. I've snipped the cable tie. When I pull on it, I've been able to pull it in free. Come on. Oh, so close. It is free. It's free, I can tell it. Come on, you bastard. There we go. Okay. That's our little problem. And it's greasy. Okay, here are my spares. Came all the way from Seoul, Korea. Hyundai genuine parts. Left hand. So I need the right hand. Right hand. And that's the way it's going to go in. So, apart from all the schmooze, you can see it's a lot less than what it needs to be. So the theory goes, I just should be able to poke that back in there, but look, I'll use two hands so I can pull on those cables and force it in. Okay, I've got the left one in, oh the right one in, sorry, and the bracket put back. My problem is I replaced the left hand side one, which didn't actually need replacing, but I thought why not do them both, and now for the life of me I can't get this this sort of end clip into place. I'm almost certain it's to do with this bottom part not getting into that hole. It's one of those things where I'm going to be fiddling around for ages, and then when it finally goes in, it will just easily pop in. I have no idea why this is not going into the hole. I have now undone the guide rail, and I still can't get it in. Well, after a lot of swearing, it got in. To come in from an angle and then sort of lift it up. I've got most of the rail bolts screws back in, but I noticed this plug coming out while I was doing that, so I'll just put a pop rivet in there just to hold it in place, and I will do the pop rivet in a sec. Actually, I'll do it now. Nothing to report other than it went click, and now I'll continue doing that screw up, and the others are in. Right, that's all finished. Rail, it can't pop out. On the other side, just need to put a pop rivet in there, and then does that come out at all? No. Beautiful. All right, quickly do that one, and then I'll put some cable ties back around that bundle there, and I have got obnoxiously long, thick UV stabilized cables. Seems a waste to use such nice long good ones, but that's they were the ones that were in there. Of course, I've got some cheap small stuff, but I'll just spare the expense. All right, we'll trim the ends off these cable ties. And let's see how many bad, horrible noises are made. Alright, so now we're going to have to mount this back in place, folding the edge over 360 degrees and then putting it in those clips. Okay, this is really hard to film one-handed, and so what I've done is I've rolled the curtain over twice, so 360 degrees, so it's just the cotton material facing. I've got the clips pushed all the way to the back so that they'll slip into place, and now I'm going to try and mount this bracket back into its little holes. Alright, that's all buttoned up. Let's see what happens when we close it. Ooh la la! Well done, everybody. Now I've just got to put all this trim back together. Shouldn't take long. So all up, I started at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and it's now 7 o'clock at night. So a couple of hours, and realistically I buggered around for half an hour, so not too long. And now I see how filthy and dirty it is. There might be some cleanup at some stage as well. And now, as it's getting dark, really dark, I just want a special thanks to Past Me. Without Past Me fixing up that little bit of plastic, that means future / present me doesn't have to do it in the dark. And the easiest way to get these trim panels back in place with these little tab things, I just pull the weather strip out. Just pull on that. Do up these panels and just press the strip back from whence it came. The car is all back in one piece. One last. And that closes the chapter.